It is indeed a pleasure to be with you today, and I do want to thank Asset and the other sponsors because this is a topic near and dear to my heart. About 10 years ago, as Justin said, I joined the Allegheny Conference for Community Development here in Pittsburgh. Those that don't know this conference, it's essentially a group of CEOs that come together believing that coming together as a group, we have the ability to not only make our community better, but we could set the business climate to make our companies better going forward. So it's a really interesting group, and I've been pleased to be a part of that. And early on, we asked our members, CEOs of the Southwestern Pennsylvania Coalition, what is it that's preventing you from doing what you need to do to grow your business? And what are you concerned about? And each and every year we ask our CEOs that, it always comes back that workforce development, attraction, retention is always in the top three. And we all believe that if we don't address this issue, especially on the STEM side, that within the next 5 to 10 years, we believe here in the region we can have a big problem. So as getting started here, I do want to take the opportunity to introduce Calgon Carbon. And I want to do it for 2 reasons. Number one, people see me on the street and they say, I've heard of the name Calgon Carbon for years, but I have no idea what you do. So I always look forward to an opportunity, at least in a slide or two, to say what we do. But actually, more importantly, because I'm talking on the subject today, I'm hoping that I could maybe interest some of you that have sons or daughters or nephews, nieces, neighbors that are looking for jobs, especially in the STEM area, that I could convince you that Calgon Carbon is this cool, neat company doing great things, that you can go back and say, hey, go to their website, look at jobs, because indeed, we need employees. Well, very briefly, Calgon Carbon is a company that's existed here in Pittsburgh for about 70 years. We are a leader in activated carbon and services and equipment, and very technology driven. We have over 240 patents. We have about 1,100 employees throughout the world, and really a great company to work for. I've been there now about 2.5 years and just having a lot of fun and seeing a lot of progress for the company. We are a global company, as most companies in southwestern Pennsylvania. If they aren't now, they are becoming. And we're a company that really treats a lot of the world's problems. Our products go into water treatment, both drinking water as well as wastewater. We sell product that helps remove contaminant from air. We also sell products that are purifying the food and the beverages that you drink and eat. And we also are a large supplier of respirator carbons, and that's how we got our business started 70 years ago. So anytime you see a gas mask or somebody with a respirator, those carbons more than likely came from us. If you're wondering what it looks like, these are activated carbon products. If you've ever had a fish tank at home, you can probably relate to the middle product. But trust me, we sell that on a much larger scale than just fish tanks. So, let me give you an example of an experience I had about 3 years ago, and to put it in the context of what we need to do to get kids interested in sciences. When I was CEO of Lanxess Corporation, I was given the task of setting up a internship program, a global internship program, where we would hire 3 to 4 entry-level chemical engineers into our company. We would send them to Singapore. I would send them to Germany. I would be able to put them throughout the plants that we had here in the United States to give them over a 2-year period a taste of what it's like working for Lanxess. So silly me, I went to Pitt, Duquesne, CMU and said, can I have 4 chemical engineers? This was January, February, and I said, you must have 1 or 2 that are available to me. And they looked at me kind of strange and they said, Randy, great idea. It looks like you have a great program. We don't have 1 chemical engineer that doesn't have a job already. In fact, all of our juniors have jobs already in our internship programs. If you want to attract these chemical engineers from the Pittsburgh region, your only hope is really going to our sophomore class and perhaps offering them internships. But I'll tell you, you're competing with the Exxons and the Dows and the DuPonts and the Chevrons. It's going to be tough. So it was very clear to me at that point in time, I had to abandon my efforts. After I determined that Pittsburgh wasn't going to be a source for these chemical engineers, we opened it up. We couldn't find any. So I left Lanxess at that time. And even at Calgon Carbon, it's a tough issue. So to put it into context, chemical engineers are tough to find. But look at some of these statistics. 48% of all entry-level jobs today, and we're no exception, require a bachelor's degree in some STEM field. The problem with that is only 29% of the students graduating with bachelor's degrees today are earning a STEM degree. That really starts addressing this problem that we're facing. And then when you look at the high school level, only 16% of American high school seniors are proficient enough in math and are really, truly interested in STEM careers. Only 16% at the high school level. And some of you I know interact with these students. And even those that are interested in science and perhaps do get a degree, think of something else they want to do, graphic designing or something else interesting. So we have a problem that we have to face and deal with. But not only on the front end, so my pipeline's dry, but the back end's dry too. We have an aging workforce, so we have a lot of people that are leaving the workforce today. And in the chemical industry, 50% of my chemists and chemical engineers, in 5 years, they're gone. So pipeline's dry, I'm losing it on the other end, I got a big problem. I want to share a couple more statistics with you. And again, we're number 27th in the world in terms of our STEM bachelor programs. Again, supporting the fact that we're just not getting kids into the sciences in college. But look at this statistic. The chemical engineers that I gave you that example of, I was willing to pay anywhere from $80,000 to $100,000 for a bachelor's degree chemical engineer, and I still couldn't find one. Petroleum engineers are making over $120,000 today. This statistic is startling. You look at, well, what's the federal government doing? Where's funding coming from? $3 billion is spent through the federal government for STEM education programs. In 2011, we spent $96 billion in this country on beer. Okay, so put that into perspective. Somehow we're just not getting the right focus on that. Well, some of the solutions that I believe and we in the region believe are necessary. I'm a huge fan of internships. I was a recipient of an internship at Bayer. I think it helped me out quite well. I bring in each year anywhere from 5 to 10 interns, mostly college students that are in the STEM area, perhaps accounting, mostly STEM. But we also reach out to schools. We reach out to high schools, middle schools, and try to get out there to talk to students. We have adopt scientist programs. We bring them into our labs to see what we do. I think that's a key part of the solution going forward. I'm also impressed all the nonprofit agencies, especially here in southwestern Pennsylvania, that get the problem. Asset most certainly does, but also the United Way now has a program, Work Ready to Work initiative, where they're actually going into schools and bringing kids and partnering them with businesses. The Allegheny Conference and our workforce efforts, we've done a tremendous amount ourselves trying to get students excited about working for us. Three Rivers Workforce Investment Board. There's much more I could say about these organizations doing great work, and as businesses, we're there to help them and to make sure that their work succeeds. Something different that I think would really work, we've never done this, but I've had a lot of discussion with Asset about this, is actually bringing you, the teachers, into our company. Perhaps in the summer, perhaps over break, give you jobs, internship type jobs, work in the labs, work in marketing, where you have the opportunity truly to see what it is we face in industry, what it is our challenges are, and be able to go back then to your students and be able to tell them, this is something you should consider. I did this first summer, and how cool was this? So making teachers and guidance counselors evangelists, making them interested in what we do, I think is huge. I've seen the good, and I've seen the bad, and I've seen the ugly here. There's so many good schools here in southwestern Pennsylvania who get this, and they come to us, and they want to be part of the solution with us. And I'll yell out South Fayette, a great example where they came to me as the CEO of Lanxess and said, we have some great students who want to work with your people. Can you give us a project? And we as teachers will help guide them. We'll come show the results. Wonderful. But as good as that was, I've seen a lot of negative as well, where guidance counselors and administrators and even teachers have said, Randy, we have two priorities, keeping the lights on and getting those kids out the door after 12th grade. Some type of collaboration, some type of cooperation with industry, although it sounds good, we don't have the resources and we don't have the time. So that needs to change if we're going to be successful going forward. And then ourselves, we have to take some of the initiative and come up with our own training and development. And a lot of companies, Kennametal is a great example, US Steel, that we've designed our own training programs so that we can do what perhaps others aren't doing. The employees we need, and I had a discussion actually early this morning on this, is even if somebody studies a STEM discipline, I could use them in accounting, I could use them in communications and marketing, that the skills that one learns through a STEM education, the critical thinking, that is so valuable for a company like ours and any company going forward. I'm going to switch gears as I have 2 minutes, give or take. Okay, I'll be quick. But, we talk STEM, and STEM is so important, and a bachelor's degree in some science education will get you a job, I guarantee that. But that's not for everybody. And we have here in southwestern Pennsylvania specifically an issue that people believe that if my child doesn't get a 4-year degree, there's nothing for them. They're not valuable. And we need to shift that. Okay, I talked to you about chemical engineers. I'm going to talk to you now about the other end of the spectrum with welders. I cannot find welders today. I will find a welder, I'll pay him or her $80,000, and I'll tell you in 1 month, they will find somebody else that will pay them a little bit more. Electricians, I can't find electricians. We have a manufacturing site out by the Pittsburgh airport. It doesn't exist. And then I was at a graduation party 2 years ago, and I was talking to a lady with my excitement about all the jobs and all this that I believe we can do here in the region. And she said, I'm so tired of people talking about all these jobs. I have 2 daughters, both are unemployed, or the one works at Starbucks, and I'm just frustrated because they can't find jobs. And I said, what did they study? Well, they studied psychology. And I said, okay, there's nothing wrong with that. That's great. I said, what do they want to do? Well, psychology type work. Our region can only hire so many people with psychology degrees that want to do psychology work. You are all teachers. The fact you're here, I assume you have jobs. But I've heard statistics that we produce in southwestern Pennsylvania about 1,200 more teachers every year than we can hire. Okay? Where are we missing the loop here? What's happening that we're not able to communicate all the time to students to say maybe a 4-year degree isn't what you need. Perhaps you need to go somewhere else. I'm going to introduce you to this gentleman, Phil. He came from a top-ranked local university, received a bachelor's degree in marketing. He graduated last year, did some great internships, good PA. He came out with $98,000 in student loan debt. Went looking for jobs here in Pittsburgh. He wanted to do marketing because that's what he studied. Got 2 job offers, one for $23,000 and another for $25,000. Looked online and kind of did his research and found that I can go to an oil and gas company. I can average at least, at a minimum, $1,500 a week, more if overtime, medical benefits and a 401k. Phil is a fracker today. Phil is a fracker and loving it, and probably more money than he knows what to do with. The point being here, it's okay. It's okay to be able to go into one of these technical positions, whether it be a welder or a fracker or an electrician. You're going to get a good job. And we need to change the paradigm with parents and perhaps even some of our administrators. It's okay to guide students in this route. Set realistic expectations. Educate them about what type of jobs are available if you don't want a 4-year degree. Work with the trade schools. Work with the community colleges to make this cultural change happen. I want to share with you a site. This was a result of work we did at the Allegheny Conference. And if you don't know the site, please go to it, especially if you're a guidance counselor or a teacher. We determined that there wasn't one website that had all the jobs in southwestern Pennsylvania that somebody could go to. So we generated an aggregate site. So we pull from the monsters and all of the companies' websites who are members of the conference and put them here. Any given week, you'll find 20 to 30,000 jobs in southwestern Pennsylvania on this site. You can sort them by discipline, IT, accounting, STEM related. Your students can look at this to get an idea what type of education and background do I need for certain jobs. But when people say, well, I don't know where the jobs are, I'm telling you, this is where the jobs are. So if you have a chance, take a look at that. So in terms of what I've tried to convey today as a CEO of a chemical company, we do have a critical problem because we don't have enough students in the STEM education to fill our needs. Although we do believe that it could be solved. You're part of the solution. You're a big part of the solution. We believe we as industry are part of the solution. We could make this work, and we believe that in doing so, if we're successful, not only will we keep the jobs here in southwestern Pennsylvania and in the state of Pennsylvania, but we can also create great lives for those people we have the ability to influence. So thank you very much for your attention, and have a good day.